Welcome to a watch party here on the Basketball Zone Cowbell Kingdom YouTube channel. Right now, it's 12-2 with 6:40 remaining in the first quarter. The Boston Celtics have gotten up to a really good lead. I got my boy Ty on here to pretty much react, do play-by-play, analyze whatever we see, and just have fun with you guys at the end of the day, man. How you doing, brother?
You know I'm good, Leo. Long time no see. I'm so happy to be back here on the Cowbell Kingdom podcast, man. I miss you guys. Hopefully you guys miss me. And, let's watch these Kings take this chip. Come on now.
Facts, man. And right now, we were discussing Peyton Pritchard. The guy is a legit certified bucket, man. He's been playing so well. But right now, it's the Aaron Nesmith show, and the Celtics are up 14-4. But before we get into this game, bro, what were your projections going into Summer League overall? Like, did you expect the Kings to make it to the title game?
There's been a lot of buzz around Davion Mitchell and how he's been successful on several different levels, starting at the college, not the college, the high school level, you know what I mean?
Right.
He's a goes. And so for him to be able to elevate this team mainly of undrafted rookies and basically second rounders is absolutely amazing. I think, Davion Mitchell, he's already playing like Donovan Mitchell.
Facts.
Just goes to show that, he's a great player. And so, losing Matu is a huge loss. I think a lot of teams that are not unknown, a lot of teams that don't pay attention don't know that Matu is, up and coming player. And so I think the bottom line is, let's see what Davion Mitchell is really made of, especially going down a starter. And, 14-4 is not the start that we want. But, here we are, 7-15, and we're right back in the game.
Exactly. And, you were right about Carson Edwards. He's playing.
Oh, hell no. Hey, they're looking like the Portland Trailblazers out there with Michael Beasley.
Did you see that? Michael Beasley and Fareed?
Dude, they look like I don't know, man.
And they lost plenty of games too with those guys.
Kevin Fareed looked like a player that just hasn't done anything since his time off. Like he wants to talk about reproving himself. I'm like, what are you reproving?
Yeah, like bro, you're a good player. Like you ain't got to prove anything.
Yeah, just go play in China, make your check, and come back over here. I don't know, on some farewell tour or something.
Or like a development. Oh man, Carson Edwards just took it to Namias. And if you haven't watched our podcast live yesterday, I had on Ricardo. He's a Portuguese reporter who covers Namias very closely, good relationship with them. And he gave us lots of nuggets about Namias and potentially what he could become. We talked about Metu not playing and him having potentially a chance to make an impact today, man. And right now, he just got served with a nice little bucket, though.
I did. What are you watching this on, Leo? Are you just on live? Because I'm on ESPN Plus. I think I might be slightly delayed behind you.
I am watching it on the Xbox One app on ESPN. The TV is right in front of me, to the side of me, actually. I'm at the 4:58 mark. Which mark are you at?
I'm at 4:58 too. So I think I'm literally a couple seconds behind you.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, I can't believe Carson's playing. I mean, he's a stud. No wonder why they're undefeated.
Ever since his Purdue days, man, he's been certified. I thought he would be able to get more opportunity in Boston.
Me too.
He's on the Summer League team, so, let's see what he can, really develop into here.
It's funny, though, because both him and Pritchard are roughly the same size, and they're both buckets. And yep. I just feel like Pritchard, for whatever reason, took advantage of his opportunities early on with the Celtics. And he actually played, meaningful minutes as a backup there, and now he's just really playing well. I think he dropped 92 at a pro league. That was crazy. He left Vegas to come back and get more buckets.
Let me ask you this, Leo: does Peyton Pritchard dropping 92 in the Portland Pro Am discredit Isaiah Thomas dropping Didn't he drop 80, 90 something in the Seattle Pro Am or something like that?
I don't think it discredited it. I just think that we got some hoopers in the NBA, bro, that are under the radar, that when the opportunity arises, they'll be ready. And the whole IT situation, which we could get into it right now, it's disappointing because you're telling me that Udonis Haslem just signed a $2.6 million deal to be a bench warmer, and it's more of a we're taking care of our Heat guys. But dude, he's been retired for 6 years now. Like, why wouldn't you want at least a 32-year-old guard who can provide value in practice, push your other guys, and potentially, if you have injuries, this guy can get you buckets. Let's not act like most NBA players aren't defensive liabilities. Like, I get it, right? Like, oh, he sucks on defense. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, a lot of people suck on defense. It's the NBA. Everybody gets buckets.
For sure. Hey, you know what? Miami is obviously a accredited organization, so they clearly are doing something right in terms of that. I don't know how I feel about what didn't Udonis Haslem get the veterans minimum of like what $3 million or something like that?
Yeah, bro. He got 2.6, and the Kings have cut the lead 17-16. Davion Mitchell is clamping up Pritchard as we speak.
Right there.
Oh my goodness, that's what I love to watch, man.
That screen.
Yes, sir. The Kings are waking up. If you didn't take the line when they were down 14-4, you are a silly goose because you could have got them like at +8.5, man. Or at least, I mean, they were +6 for the game. I don't know what it was because we were setting up, but the defensive intensity has picked up, and guess who's leading the charge, man?
Davion Mitchell. Come on.
That's right, man. Emmanuel just checked into the game. And Davion Mitchell hits another three-point shot. Oh, my goodness. The Kings take the lead 19-17, 3:13 remaining. Holy smokes. Here we go.
Look at him. Look at him facilitating out there, man. He's looking like a veteran out there, huh, Leo?
Oh, Carson Edwards with a shake, bake, and then the air ball, which led to a pass. Wow. Carson Edwards. He is a bucket.
Hey, Carson Edwards ain't no Davion Mitchell. Let's get that straight. League for a few years. You put Davion in the league for a few years, oh, he gonna be straight.
Bobby Jackson, his first time as a summer league head coach, and now he's in the finals. Congrats to Bobby, my guy. Was also the Stockton head coach now. I can't wait to see what he does with that program there. The Kings push it in transition, and they missed a layup. The Celtics are back in transition. Here they go. It's 3-on-2 and a foul. Smart foul by the Sacramento Kings. Look at me giving you guys some play-by-play, man. I'm pumped.
Hey, Leo, let me ask you about that. I know a lot of teams do this, especially in transition where they foul. And it's not a clear path, right? Like, they obviously it's an intentional foul. Do you think teams should be penalized for that? Because I personally feel like, I want to see teams run in transition. And it is a little bit unsatisfying seeing that, a guy just grabs a guy and it's just like, okay, like we could have saw like a really cool dunk out of like LeBron, you know what I mean? And so.
Yeah, I mean, how do you penalize being smart, though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because
what would you do, though?
It's really hard to judge that. And so the only solution that I thought, and this might be very controversial, is treating it like an intentional foul. You know what I mean? I think that's a free throw in possession, right? So I think if you are intentionally fouling, which a lot of these guys are, especially in transition, they're just grabbing the guy,
Okay.
I think, a free throw in possession, you know what I mean? You get the extra point, you still keep the ball. And so it might deter a few teams from doing that. And ultimately, you know what I mean? We might see a few more fast break dunks out of guys like LeBron, KD, and, the superstars that we see in the league.
That's interesting, man. I feel like sometimes, for example, was it the game? It was the Timberwolves. It was a game with Frank Mason. It was the Sixers and the Timberwolves, right? And the Timberwolves were trying to win by 8 to try and be in his title game. They ended up winning the game because the Sixers did not foul at half court. Now, do you feel like your rule applies to this as well? Because if you're up by 3, you're not going to let somebody, dribble down the court, get up a 3-point shot, tie the game, send it to overtime. Like, does that count? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so hard to distinguish. Is it intentional or is it not intentional?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the exact issue with it. You know what I mean? And I think that me personally, from a fan's perspective, and I know obviously it's an offensive-driven league, I feel like there should be a little bit more effort in terms of making it a basketball play. Because let's be honest, a lot of times, especially stopping the fast break, the guy just grabs the guy and it's like whatever, you know what I mean? At least reach something, grab the arm, and like make it seem like it's a basketball play. I know how difficult that can be, but it really comes down to the referees. I know this past season, especially with technical fouls and things like that, it's been horrendous season in terms of referees. But hopefully, moving forward, I know Adam Silver just sat down and had a conversation with LeBron about the playing tournament. So hopefully, moving forward, we can all be on the same page with the officials. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and with the rules changing, it'll be interesting to see if they finally stop rewarding like these fake little fouls where you just back into a guy and it's a foul on the
Yeah.
defender. The defender has a right to be somewhere. The Celtics are in transition. Carson Edwards shoots the ball and he misses. Great rebound by the Kings. But yeah, like how do you allow this to happen for so long? Davion Mitchell for 3. Oh my goodness. Turn the sprinklers on because Davion Mitchell is on fire.
Certified.
22-20. Holy smokes. And I hope Grant Edwards doesn't sue me for that. But yeah, that was a certified bucket by Davion in transition. He is playing really well. Right now, he has a total of, what does he have? 7 points.
Peyton Pritchard tried to just come down and, match that three, didn't do it. A few possessions earlier, Carson Edwards tried to match that three, couldn't do it. I mean, Davion Mitchell's built different, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Hey, you can look I know a lot of teams try to knock guys for staying in college for a few years, but
Facts.
hey, if he's an NBA-ready player, how are you going to get mad at that? Why do I want a project that's 18 years old and, isn't really ready to lead a team? So, hey,
Okay. So I've been saying this for about, I don't know, 3 weeks now since they took him, and honestly, I've been saying this for a long time now. But why do they knock these guys like Lillard, McCollum, Buddy, and now Davion, guys who are ready to hoop right now? Don't you kind of wish that your 18-year-old is as good as that 22-year-old by the end of his contract? Like you're wasting an efficient rookie scale deal, hoping that he becomes what Davion is now, right? And I think that's such a huge issue because most lottery picks that are 18, 19 years old, they're not very good the first 2.5 years.
Exactly. I agree 100%. Like, what is the purpose of having an 18-year-old guard play behind, a veteran point guard and basically, learn to develop? I mean, dude, you want NBA-ready players, and especially with the Sacramento Kings, with the moves that he made last year, trading for a DeLon Wright. I know we don't have any more, but, also acquiring a guy like Mo Harkless. If we are truly a win-now team, then why not get a win-now player? You know what I mean? I know that a lot of OKC fans were controversial in terms of drafting a guy like Josh Giddey, you know what I mean? And so, at the end of the day, if this guy can, contribute to your team immediately, why do you not want that on your team regardless of age?
100%. Marcus Smart, 4 years, $77 million contract extension. How do you feel about that?
I mean, they had to do it because they obviously let Kemba Walker go for some peanuts. I don't know what they're doing, reacquiring that Al Horford horrendous contract. I'm a little bit concerned about that. But, to turn that question back on you, who's the starting point guard down there in Boston between Dennis Schroeder, Marcus Smart, and Peyton Pritchard? Because low-key, Peyton Pritchard's been playing good in the Summer League. Marcus Smart obviously got the money, and Dennis Schroeder signed without, the confirmation that he'd be the starting point guard. So who do you think starts? And let me ask you 2 questions, Zil. Who starts for the Boston Celtics at point guard this season, and who ends as starting point guard for the Boston Celtics this season?
That's tough because Marcus Smart's good, Dennis is really good, and Peyton is playing really well.
Is Peyton the future?
Man, I know he's a fan favorite in Boston, and he's playing really well. He provides something that both of those guys don't, which is elite shooting. So that's interesting. You kind of like to have space around Jason Tatum, but it's not just his shooting. Like Pritchard is actually has a handle. Like he's in his bag, and and again, just because he's white, people will be like, "Oh, I'm like no, like this guy is a certified hooper. Like this dude is like legit." So, man, well, a report said that Marcus would start, but I wouldn't start him. Davion Mitchell shoots the buzzer-beating shot. The Kings take the lead 24-20 at the end of the first. Wow, what a comeback by the Kings, led by Davion Mitchell, who has 7 points. Lewis King with 10 points. Both are playing extremely well for Boston. Aaron Neesmith with 6. Carson Edwards with 7. Fernando with 3. And Becky Rain with 4. It's a good game, man. It's going to be a hell of a game. The Kings are +6 to start the game. Lots of value there. I wonder what the line is. I'll check up in a little bit. But to answer that Celtics question, I think you're going to have a lot of Pritchard and a lot of Dennis because Marcus Smart is so versatile that you can play him pretty much anywhere. And I think all three of those guards are going to play. So that's more of a cop-out answer. But who starts? I think Dennis starts. Pritchard is his backup. And you find a way to start Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and probably bring Marcus. I know it sounds crazy, but I prefer Marcus Smart off the bench. But to fit, but to like play finishing minutes, like obviously he's going to end games.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, as much as I like a guy like Marcus Smart, excuse me, I got some construction going on. But as much as I like a guy like Marcus Smart, you know what I mean? There's just some guys that fit a role better, you know what I mean? And I think that at the end of the day, throughout the game, you know what I mean? Marcus Smart is definitely going to get minutes, but just like you said, down the stretch, I could definitely see him closing out games. Now, Dennis Schroeder is a very interesting thing. I know we saw this offseason, you know, what happens to a guy when they turn down a 4-year, $84 million contract.
That was crazy.
From a high, and then he signed for $5.9 million, which is absolutely ridiculous. I would not be surprised, and I know this is a hot take, that if they decide to start Marcus Smart and have Peyton Pritchard off the bench, and they kind of look at Dennis Schroeder as like, if you can contribute, you can. But I also don't think that Dennis Schroeder is a long-term option. You know what I mean? He clearly signed a 1 year in order to, find a bigger contract next season. Do I think he will? I do not. Do I think he'll find anything near 4 years, $84 million? No way. But I think that he might find a more significant contract somewhere else. But in terms of Boston's status, I mean, unless they make a crazy playoff push, I don't see them making a type of decision to give him a lot of minutes down the stretch.
I agree. I agree 100% with that, man. And right now, the Kings lead 26-22 with 9:27 remaining. Yeah, Davion Mitchell is already all over social media with the he's clamping Pritchard. He's picking up the intensity, and his teammates follow. That is so exciting to watch because people, and again, we were talking about this before the show, but people outside of Sacramento are like, well, how is the fit gonna happen with Davion, Tyrese, Buddy, and Fox? Well, I'm not sure if people watch much basketball, but we've had 3 guard lineups for a long time now. I'm saying about 3 years. It's been more common, especially last season, and it's going to be and it's going to continue to be a thing because in today's NBA, you put the best 5 players out there, regardless of position. Now, I'm not saying put 5 point guards out there either. Like, don't take myself out of context, but
yep.
3 guards is definitely a thing. The Kings played with 3 guards last year. Why are people shocked? They had Buddy, Tyrese, and Fox. Literally, that was their best lineup. Bogdanovich, Buddy, and Fox. That was their best lineup. Make no mistake about it. And now you add a hound, and I mean a defensive stopper, unlike Patrick Beverley, who is not that good. And it's so funny that he got, the next 5 years, I got them. Like, bro, Pat's he's a clown, by the way. So whoever was trying to compare Davion to Pat Beverley, you a clown in my book, man, for sure. Like, that's a lazy ass comparison.
100%. I mean, Davion Mitchell is a certified bucket. I mean, you don't take a guy at the number 9 pick that you don't think is definitely, a game changer. And so, yeah, just like you said, Leo, I just want to reiterate once again, like, I don't get how, if a team is drafting in the top 10, how do you not take the best player available? Yeah. And I think, I hate to keep giving Davion Mitchell the same comparisons to Donovan Mitchell, but at the same time, like, I feel like when Donovan Mitchell was taken 13th overall, you mean to tell me that the 12 teams taken before him wouldn't want a guy like Donovan Mitchell? You know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously, I know your favorite right there, Leo, was a James Bouknight. I personally wanted Moses Moody, take your guy, even though, he might have been, projected
all 3 of those guys would have been solid additions. And when it happened, right, I was live at Medici. I said it right away. Like, yes, my pick would still be Davion. Sorry, James Bouknight. Yeah. But I understood why the Kings did that. When you're the worst defense in NBA history, you have to bring in a defensive specialist with an upside with an offensive upside like Davion Mitchell's. And I also admitted this. I said Davion got buckets, yes, in the national championship, and he's still not a good passer, but he works so hard, and his grind is so different. He's cut from a different cloth, man. And I believe his offensive game, as we're seeing right now, it was more of a late bloomer type stuff. But
Yeah.
he's looking really impressive offensively too. Like I'm really impressed with how he can get into his bag, step back, a lot like Dame, a lot like Donovan Mitchell. Man, it's been really impressive to watch and witness, especially live. Watching him live, bro, and being so close to him, I was just I was left shocked on how fast he is. Like his first step is just, oh my gosh.
De'Aaron Fox-esque,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it is though
Yeah.
because again, you're not going 90 feet. 90 feet, obviously, Fox was in the race, but in the half court, it's right there, bro. He's so fast.
Right there with him. And I mean, Leo obviously had more resources, opportunities to see the Sacramento Kings in person. So I would just love to see Davion and De'Aaron Fox battling out in practice because I feel like that in itself will be so entertaining, amongst the league. I mean, just being able to see two young guys basically battle it out and be as competitive as they are. And so a thing that I really want to point about Davion is that, regardless of what you have to say about in terms of the 3-guard lineups and whether or not he can fit, the fact that his main selling point and his known for is his work ethic. You know what I mean? You can't re-emulate that. Some people work harder than others. I mean, we just saw this
100%.
past in terms of Ben Simmons, the fact that, he surrounds himself by people that he likes himself. I mean,
Yep.
Davion Mitchell is a grinder. He's out there getting shots even after games and just being able to do.
Wow, and the Celtics just hit oh my gosh, no, yes, miracle Hail Mary type of shot off the bank, the knock out glass. The banks are closed, yo, but it still counts. 32-28, and right now the Kings are -1.5 in the
Hey, that's a
books.
charge by Davion Mitchell because he sacrifices his body and he's a team player.
Wow, the Kings are just +2.5. And the books are beginning to realize that the Kings are for real and that this game will be extremely close. So whoever got the Kings at +6, y'all got to steal, man.
Here we go.
Like they're
Let's see
giving
it.
you 6 points to start the game. Come on, man. And it wasn't looking pretty because they were getting
Oof.
shut down in the beginning, but Davion Mitchell led. Oh, what a 3-point shot. Okay. The Kings lead 35-28. What a ball game. 6:07 remaining. Pritchard with the air ball. You know Pritchard is shook right now. His confidence is shook, bro.
He's never seen anything like Davion Mitchell in the Summer League.
No, he hasn't.
Fact.
Coleman with the 3-point shot. He's been really impressive too, though.
And let's be honest, Leo. A lot of these Kings fans, they like to get a little extra excited about, non-drafted free agents and second rounders. But I mean, shoot, when you have a team that's able to make it to the Summer League championship, especially led by a guy like Davion Mitchell, you can't help but pardon to ask, aren't these guys going to end up on the roster sooner or later, regardless of if they were drafted or not?
I love Emmanuel Terry, man. I've been very vocal about that. He reminds me a lot of Rashawn Holmes. He has that exact same motor. Exact same playing style. Those guys I love more than the Alex Lenz and the Tristan Thompsons and than even like the Cuetas. Like I have a preference with bigs. I like for them to be able to switch on the perimeter, and Emmanuel Terry has that type of capability. Not to say that I'm not saying it's not needed, like to have a large 7-footer. I think it's needed as your third guy because you're going to face Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, who I'm wearing a shirt right now. Like you're going to face these type of guys, and yes, I believe you should have those types of bigs. Like Cueta's a great big to have on your roster, a guy who is an elite shot blocker. But if you're able to switch on the perimeter, get offensive rebounds, tip outs, and be a great roll runner, like a Rashawn Holmes and like an Emmanuel Terry, that's a win-win in my book, man. And that is how today's NBA is played, in the pick and roll. So, yeah, man. And shout out to Nicholas Kerr, man. Shout out for $1, a hot dog with the ketchup. Love hearing that, man. Love it. Let's put the
And yeah,
comments here. There you go.
just to add on to what you said, Leo, I mean, let's just be realistic. The ceiling for guys that are second round undrafted, the fact that they're even able to make a roster and play some minutes in the NBA is absolutely astronomical. And I think for a guy like Emmanuel Terry to be, a third string, even fill in for second string in the case that, a guy like Matu or, Tristan Thompson or Alex Len gets injured, you know what I mean? These guys have fought every single day just to, be where they are. And so coming from a chip on the shoulder perspective, I think these guys definitely have an opportunity to show that they're more than just an energy player and they can really contribute to a team like the Sacramento Kings. That obviously a lot of opportunities are available. You know what I mean? Especially being a team that hasn't made the playoffs in several years. Having a guy that comes off the bench, and we obviously got to see it this past season where the guy like Rashawn Holmes that has never been touted as a starting center in the NBA. And so the fact that he's able to come to Sacramento, hit that push shot, do everything that he can. I mean, I don't see why Emmanuel Terry can't contribute to
Emmanuel Terry has 10 boards right now, bro. He's killing it. He's killing it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I have a preference. Obviously, a lot of people are in favor of having that 7-footer. Oh, the Kings need toughness. The Kings need to. At the end of the day, bro, like, this guy is tough. Rashawn Holmes is tough. The problem with last year and the year before, they didn't have anybody that was as tough as Holmes. You put in a guy like this, a guy like Montrezl Harrell, that's a beautiful 1-2 punch and the relentless 1-2 punch that, hey, they gonna bring their lunch bag every single day. And trying hard, playing with energy, that's a skill. And a lot of people want to sleep on that. Like, oh my God, like that's just a garbage time. No, like everybody doesn't play 110% every game. And if they say they do, they're lying. Oh my God, Davion Mitchell is just out here just shaking people like it's just elementary school, bro. He missed a shot, but my gosh.
As soon as he's able to develop that consistent shot making, dude, the sky's the limit. And I don't know if you saw that earlier, Leo. They had the graphic of Peyton Pritchard in this summer league. I think he's averaging 20.3 points. In today's game, thus far, he has 0 points and he's 0 for 3 from the three-point line.
Jeez,
I don't think that's a coincidence with Davion Mitchell guarding him. That's all I'm saying.
Here comes Ramsey in transition, takes it to the chest of Pritchard, and he gets the bucket. Beautiful outlet pass from Davion to Ramsey. He finishes the job. The Kings are up 37-30 with 4:02 remaining. The Kings are playing in transition. They're playing defense. Their defense is leading to offense, and we love seeing that. Hey, he traveled and they didn't call it. Okay.
It's all good. They missed. We straight.
He missed a shot. Pick and roll Ramsey. He missed Queta. But my God. And see, those are the little things. Good offensive rebound by Woodard, but those are the small things from a guard that if you can't hit somebody rolling and there's a mismatch like Pritchard's on Queta, a 7-footer, you got to be able to hit that shot, make that read most importantly. And on that play, Ramsey did not, and that's why Ramsey is as good as he's been. As of right now, he is still a G League player, and that is the big difference. Not to say that he's not a crazy athlete, because he's an insane athlete, but these are the little things that you must already have at this level, bro. And like, if I can make that read in the pick and roll consistently, why can't Ramsey make that read? Like, I'm a great pick and roll passer, and that was such an easy rollout slip pass that he just didn't make it. And then we saw, like, yeah, Queta should have finished that, but at the end of the day, like, it was a dunk. Wow, Davion Mitchell takes it to Pritchard to the chest. I think that's an issue there. To answer your question about earlier, who's going to start? That's why he won't start, because he's not as good defensively, and we know Dennis the Menace is a beast defensively, especially on the perimeter. He's very like Davion-esque, right, where he's going to pass you and he's going to pick you up from full court. That's what's so special about him. And even though he don't have a jump shot like that, like that's consistent, that's still a lot of value to me. So that's why I would start him and then start Mark. Well, who do you start if you're the
I think
so Dennis. Dennis,
because
Brown, Tatum, their center, Robert Williams, that's 4. Do you start Marcus Smart? Or do you start
because that's like, do you take a guy that's going to contribute to your team now versus long term? Because Dennis Schroeder, let's be honest, I will put money on the fact that Dennis Schroeder is not in the Boston Celtics jersey next season. Let's be honest. He's here to build his stock, and he wants a more long-term contract in order to obtain the contract that he hasn't gotten
So
anywhere
wouldn't you
else.
play him now because he's in an urgency to play at like 110% every single night?
It's tough because it concerns me the fact that Dennis Schroeder signed on to the Boston Celtics explicitly knowing that he wasn't going to have the starting job. You know what I mean? That was not a promise that the Boston Celtics made. They told him that you're signing here just to contribute to this team. So I think, especially when you hand a guy 4 years, $70 million plus, and Marcus Smart, how do you not start a guy like that? So if Marcus Smart can really take a leap in his game and be the starting point guard for your team, I don't see the problem in splitting minutes between Dennis Schroeder and Peyton Pritchard off the bench. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that as of right now, Dennis Schroeder is a better player than Marcus Smart, but it may be in terms of
They're different
long-term.
players.
Exactly, they are different players in terms of like the way that Boston sees Marcus Smart.
They both can play together. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Who? Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart and Dennis.
And then what do? You move Jaylen Brown to the 3 and Tatum to the 4?
I mean, Tatum is a 4 to me. I mean, he's, again, new NBA, 6'8", like tweaker, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's playing 4 with Team USA regardless. It's not that big of a deal to me. Like, he's 6'8", he can guard other guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Marcus Smart is their best defender, and well, Jaylen Brown's pretty good himself, but there's a lot of defense. That team right there, defensively, is a lot better than what they were last year. With Marcus Smart and Dennis just picking up.
Yeah, I want to disagree with the fact that if we see a lot of Marcus Smart, Dennis Schroeder, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Robert Williams lineups, you know what I mean? Like, it's small ball. This is the way that basketball is played these days. And so, yeah, I mean, as much as Peyton Pritchard has been impressive this offseason, whether it's, the Pro-Am game or even, leading the Celtics teams with, not a lot of notable players outside of Carson Edwards and Aaron Nesmith, you know what I mean? So I think that
Nesmith, or do you start Nesmith and bring Marcus Smart off the bench?
I don't think Aaron Nesmith is there yet.
Okay.
As much as, Leo, you and I were high on Aaron Nesmith, even potentially coming to the Sacramento Kings, I don't think he's there yet in terms of, development and being, a starting shooting guard in this league yet.
It'd be more of like just a wing, right? Like if he starts, it's more of the ceremonial start where you have some size and some shooting to start the game, but but the better player is coming off the bench, but still playing starter minutes. Davion Mitchell actually makes the read to Queta, and I think Queta just dropped the ball. So that's the difference between Mitchell and Ramsey, is that Mitchell can make that play, albeit not at a high level yet, but with more repetition, Mitchell will be there soon, man. Like, he's just such a rat, right? Like, he just loves the gym, bro, and you just can't put a price on it. Like, to me, that's priceless.
Even from the California Classic, I noticed straight off the bat that Davion Mitchell is way ahead of a lot of these guys on the Summer League team. No, diss to them, but I think at the end of the day, the fact that his IQ and playmaking is on a whole nother level, I can't wait to see what he does, playing alongside a guy like Rashawn Holmes, De'Aaron Fox, or Tyrese Halliburton, that, obviously are able to finish plays, but also make plays for themselves.
The way I see Davion offensively, though, well, the way I would like to see it was a lot of what that clip showed, the one I posted of Tyrese playing in the pick and roll and then kicking it out to either the weak side or strong side, to where Davion doesn't have the ball in his hands, but it's more of a live dribble, secondary action type action, and he's now blowing by whoever's guarding him because he has a live dribble. He's not making a play for others, but he's looking for his offense. Either he shoots that open shot, which he shot 45% from beyond the arc at Baylor, or he just blows by you. And you, again, roll optimization. How are you going to put your guys in the best situations? To me, Tyrese is better on the ball than he is off, but he is more than capable of playing off the ball. And I hope that De'Aaron Fox develops his off-ball movement and his off-ball skills, because all three of these guys should be able to complement each other, man, because they're all good ball players, right?
And I can definitely agree with that 100%. I think Tyrese Halliburton, the way I describe him to especially fans that don't watch the Sacramento Kings, is he's a player that does almost everything right in terms of the playmaking, the facilitating that he does. He looks for his teammates. He puts his centers and bigs in the best positions possible. Especially a guy like Rashawn Holmes. Like, look back at the highlights. A lot of the push shots that Rashawn Holmes made were from passes from Tyrese Halliburton. I think Davion Mitchell definitely has potential to be a lot more offensively gifted and get himself a bucket more than Tyrese Halliburton, because I think Tyrese Halliburton is definitely more like a glue guy that's able to facilitate and play making that. And I think that Tyrese Halliburton would definitely finish off the season with more assists than the guy like Davion Mitchell,
Yep.
just because Mitchell is so quick, able to, get off the ball and, get to the basket. And, obviously we've seen in his Baylor days that he's able to get a bucket, drive past guys, similar to like De'Aaron Fox. I hate the fact that, I keep comparing him to De'Aaron Fox, but man, the guy's quick. His first step is quick, you know what I mean? And not even dissing off a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, but dude, this guy, the way I describe Tyrese Halliburton, he is a playmaker. He will slice and dice your defense and then kick it out to the open guy or find a guy down low below. You know what I mean? And I think perfect for the Sacramento Kings, especially if we want to run these 3-guard lineups, because De'Aaron Fox. Let's be honest, he's a quick guy that's going to be able to get you a bucket. If Davion Mitchell is able to reach the potential that we have seen thus far, I don't see why he can't be just like De'Aaron Fox and get himself a bucket. But having a guy like Tyrese Halliburton that's able to see the court, put his shooters in the best position, whether it's a Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, Rashawn Holmes, etc., and complement these guys, because I think Tyrese Halliburton is definitely his play style is a lot more unselfish than a guy like. And I don't even want to say that De'Aaron Fox is selfish, you know what I mean? Because he definitely has a high assist ratio. But I think Tyrese Halliburton definitely is able to be a facilitator on the court and definitely just be a guy that you can insert into your lineups and, find yourself buckets.
And the Kings are up 44-34. Ramsey in transition once again. The Kings are playing their game right now, man. It's a beautiful thing to watch. 5.1 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The Kings are up 10, dude. It's how you want to end the quarter, and the Kings are playing really well, really efficient. Last possession, Pritchard travels, but they did not call it. Nice finish for Pritchard. And the quarter ends. The Kings lead 44-36. Lewis King with 10 points. Emmanuel Terry with 10 rebounds. Davion Mitchell with 2 assists. And to your point, yes, I would prefer Davion to focus on defense and get you buckets, because you have enough playmaking with Tyrese, enough playmaking with De'Aaron Fox, and even some playmaking on the wing from Harrison Barnes. So I'm okay with that, man. And again, using him more on secondary actions, I'd love to see that. The Kings right now, they're minus 3.5. So if they win by 4, they cover. They are up by 8 points at the half. Davion is getting interviewed on TV right now. I don't know what he's saying, but he's pretty much saying, "Yeah, I got this. I got Pritchard on lockdown." Let's check out how many points Pritchard has. He has 2 points, 4 boards, and 6 assists. And he is 1 of 4. Yep, that is the off night effect, huh?
And yeah, just like you said, Davion Mitchell, his nickname is not off night for just for a coincidence. I mean, we came in here with the game plan that at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but hey, if Peyton Pritchard is not playmaking for the Boston Celtics, I think they're just a below average team, just like any of these summer league teams, because Peyton Pritchard, in terms of summer league at least, is that transcendent of a player that's able to find guys, get to the bucket, and be a quick guy. I mean, you're not dropping 92 points in the Pro-Am Portland League. I know that the game ended 160 to 1 something, you know what I mean? But you're not doing that if you're not a certified bucket. So
yeah,
I think it's not a coincidence that Davion Mitchell's nickname is Off Night, because hey, every time you face Davion Mitchell, it is an off.
Addis Prime says, beautiful holding Pritchard to 2 points. Davion doesn't even look like he's sweating. That came from Kevin Fernandez. And then, and he has 3 turnovers. Handy Hernandez says, So, will Buddy start the season? Let's get. This is an interesting topic, man. What do you think, Ty?
Uh, you know, Buddy Hield has contributed to a lot to Sacramento in terms of being the main piece in the DeMarcus Cousins trade. DeMarcus Cousins being such an integral part of the development of Sacramento. But I think that with a guy like Marvin Bagley alongside Buddy Hield, I mean, it would be a dream to be able to ship those two guys in the trade package and get something in return. Obviously, ideally, a guy like Pascal Siakam, and especially dream wise, a guy like Ben Simmons. I think this upcoming season, especially with what we've seen thus far and kind of like the signals that we've seen from the front office, I wouldn't be surprised if Buddy Hield is, our very first game, the starting shooting guard of the Sacramento Kings. However, I don't think that is going to be long lasting considering the development of Tyrese Halliburton. And if, the report by Mark Jones is true that Tyrese Halliburton did put on 10 pounds of weight and can, really lock up teams, I don't think Tyrese Halliburton is known as a bad defender as Buddy Hield. So I mean, if we are truly pushing this youth movement and that De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton are our starting backcourt in the future, what does worry me is the fact that if we were to pursue something like that and have Buddy Hield be a sixth man or sixth, seventh man type role, is what trade value can we get for a guy like that gets pushed off to a side for a guy like Tyrese Halliburton? I think if I had to personally say what I think is going to happen this upcoming season is that Buddy Hield is the starting shooting guard from day one. However, Tyrese Halliburton beats him out of that spot with his playmaking and along with Davion Mitchell, contributing to that team immensely. I think,
But why
it's just
wouldn't they
hard.
both start? Like, to me, it's going to be Tyrese, Buddy, and Fox again.
Tyrese, Buddy, and Fox with Barnes at the 4 and then Rashawn Holmes at the 5.
I mean, that's your best lineup. That was your best lineup last year. Why wouldn't they start with, especially with another year, more strength to Tyrese Halliburton? Tyrese, to me, is one of the best off-ball defenders that we have in the game right now. He's not a great on-ball defender, but playing safety, roaming around, he'll be able to do that a lot more with Davion being such a hound on ball. But he can't do it as much with Buddy because obviously Buddy's your minus defender in this lineup. But it's still better than having Marvin Bagley and Buddy out there because now you have two minus defenders, and that's an issue. But on the contrary to that, you add Buddy Hield to the spacing, which, again, spacing is everything in the NBA. And he provides that for Tyrese. He provides that for Fox. Provides that for HB in the post. And he provides that for Holmes rolling to the rim, which is critical. It's crucial to the Kings' 5-out offense.
I'd be wrong to discredit any of those points, Leo. I definitely feel like Buddy Hield and his impressive 3-point shooting doesn't open up the offense for the Sacramento Kings. It's just it makes the situation a lot more complicated because let's be honest, Leo, I don't know where if we are pushing the Davion Mitchell and Tyrese Halliburton for the future, where do and even a guy like Matu, right? Where do we even have a fit for a guy like Buddy Hield or Marvin Bagley within this lineup, especially down the stretch when Marvin Bagley was hurt and we ran a lot of Harrison Barnes at the 4, and just like I said earlier, I'm not trying to discredit the fact that Buddy Hield can definitely stretch the 4 for the Sacramento Kings. I personally would like to see Monty McNair work his magic and see if we can facilitate a trade around Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley, but
I know, but what if you don't? Like you have to start these because that was your best lineup last year.
Well, in that case, would you take Davion Mitchell or Buddy Hield?
To start?
To start.
That's obviously that's a very fair question. Super interesting.
Or the defensive benefit of Davion Mitchell, and obviously I don't see him as an offensive liability, right? But let's be honest, Buddy Hield can shoot the lights out, but he is a defensive liability. So at this point, are you really taking a guy like Davion Mitchell, although we've only seen thus far what he can do in the Summer League?
I just don't know if Davion will shoot it the same way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put that much pressure, not to say that he can't handle it, but if I'm the coach, I'm lightly bringing him off the bench, just the same way I did with Tyrese. Kind of seeing what I have. If he impacts the game the same way Tyrese did, literally, like you felt Tyrese when he stepped into the game, right? And if
Yep.
you feel that from Davion, make the change. But until that happens, or unless he's just destroying Buddy in training camp,
Yeah.
then you start. Or how about this? What if you start TD, Tyrese, and Fox, and you bring Davion and Buddy off the bench?
Ooh, that's actually very interesting because obviously we've seen this past season that Terrence Davis, is like I don't know if this is the best comparison in the world, but in terms of like I see a lot of J.R. Smith-esque in his prime, right? When J.R. Smith was definitely able to, light the team up, and a lot of people try to knock J.R. Smith for being a streaky player, but whether it was his Denver days, whether it was his Knicks days, and even during his later Cleveland Cavalier days, I mean, he's a solid starter. You know what I mean? We're not asking for you to be the best player on the team. I think that's what a lot of Kings fans fail to realize. So I wouldn't be surprised if, Luke Walton plays with the lineups a little bit and see what we can do. I personally feel like, it's 2021. We're going to run these 3-guard lineups. I know a guy like Tyrese Halliburton may struggle a little bit against the LeBron and KDs, but I don't care what team you are. It's 100% difficult to stop a guy like a LeBron or a KD, Kawhi Leonard-esque, right? I don't care what team you are. Unless you have a guy like that on your team to be a complete counterpart, it's just going to be tough. And so I think it's going to be a full game plan idea. I just think that down the stretch, Monte McNair, seeing what he did, especially drafting a guy like Davion Mitchell with the 9th pick, I would not be surprised to see a lot of Davion Mitchell at the 1, De'Aaron Fox at the 2, and Tyrese Halliburton at the 3. And hopefully Tyrese Halliburton is able to guard guys like, LeBron, KD, Kawhi-esque. But, I mean, that's what you keep a guy like a Harrison Barnes for and be able to be interchangeable because, I think at the end of the day, Buddy Hield, it's such a complicated situation because he's like a great 3-point shooter, but then again, it's not getting us to where we need to move the needle. So
I think the way you look at Buddy's the way a lot of people look at him in terms of I'm paying you $23 million. I expect this from you. But when that trade almost went down with the Lakers, he was going to be seen as the ultimate like all-star role player that he
move the needle guy.
Like he's that guy, right? He raises your floor, not your ceiling, and he's the ultimate role player. And if you start to view him as a role player and not the guy that was from 2 years ago where he was played a lot different. And I got a lot of information from him in Las Vegas talking to him and how the chemistry and the synergy is with with Luke Walton, obviously off the record, so I can't really talk about it much, but it gave me a better understanding to why he would take the type of shots that he was taking, which was those contested 3-point shots. And I'll just say it this way, it's super unfortunate, but it's a marriage that needs to break up soon. And again, once he's on a different team, Kings fans will learn to appreciate him a lot more on this team because of what we know and what he's done and how he's gotten paid. We view him differently, but he's nothing but, again, same type of work ethic as Davion Mitchell. He's a gym rat, and he's a guy that speaks his mind. And a lot of times it's not it's frowned upon, right? Like, oh, he shouldn't have said this, or but Buddy Hield, if you know anything about him from where he comes from, he's a guy that wears his emotions on the sleeve, and he says what he feels. Right, wrong, or indifferently. Like, there's a lot of pure intent in his heart, and sometimes it comes out the way it does because that's just who he is. Unfortunately,
I will be the first person to say that regardless of Buddy Hield's play on the court, I wouldn't even necessarily blame him for the circumstance that he's been put in. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of reports came out, whether it was last season or the season prior to that, Luke Walton wanted him to elevate his game to be more of a playmaker type player, is able to be, a number 1, number 2 type player on the team. And let's be honest, Buddy Hield fits more of a mold like a Duncan Robinson type player where it's like play off the screen and make the open jumper, and that's all we need. And so I know how difficult it's been for him under a guy like Luke Walton, and I know how difficult it's been for Kings fans, having to basically support a guy like Luke Walton that literally had the same youth roster in Alonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, etc. in Los Angeles. Didn't work out, but Vlade Divac felt like it was a perfect opportunity to swoop up on a guy like Luke Walton in a case where Sacramento's in a similar situation with, guys like De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, and now Davion Mitchell. I'm not here to say that, Buddy Hield's a bad basketball player, because I don't think that's the case. I do personally feel like Buddy Hield is a top 5 shooter, if not a top 3 shooter in the NBA
100%.
Just look at the numbers, you know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think that Buddy Hield is a bad player. Just like you mentioned earlier, it's a marriage that's, bound to not necessarily balance.
But look, as a competitor, like Ty, like if your coach asks you to do X, Y, Z, what are you gonna say? No, coach, I can't. Like no, like you're challenged and you're a competitor, especially him, like the biggest competitor. He's gonna take the challenge, and even though it's not to his best of abilities, like it's not his strength, as you said, asking him to be more of a playmaker, to do things that he's not very good at.
Yeah.
You're bound to set him up to fail. Like if you use him as a Joe Harris, as a Duncan Robinson, that's why they're looked at differently than Buddy. But if you put Buddy on those teams, he'd replace those guys.
100%. 100%. You put Buddy Hield replacing a Joe Harris, Buddy Hield replacing a Duncan Robinson in Miami, I guarantee you that he performs better than either one of those guys. What's unfortunate is when you are in an organization like Sacramento, and they expect you to do more than what you came in here basically being expected to do. Just like you said, there's no other way to put it than they're setting you up for failure. And so I know a lot of Kings fans were talking about how if Buddy Hield were allegedly to be sent to Los Angeles, that he would flourish. Yes, I agree with you 100%. When you play with arguably the best playmaker/player in a guy like LeBron James, alongside nonetheless a guy like Anthony Davis, obviously you're bound to succeed. And just like I mentioned before, he would be bound to succeed in a place like Brooklyn or Miami if he were to place either of those guys, because I personally feel like he's a better shooter than Joe Harris and Duncan Robinson, regardless of what the stats say. So it's just an unfortunate situation, Leo, and I know that, us being Sacramento fans, we've had to deal with, not necessarily giving the free agents and the guys that we have come to love the appropriate appreciation that they deserve.
And to say all that, to say this, Buddy has really improved in the pick and roll, because he understands that they're going to stay home on him every single time because they can't afford for him to shoot the ball. So he has that leeway where he knows that if you're a good roller like Richaun Holmes, you're gonna get 3-4 assists a game just off of that. Like
100%.
Like that is a gravity, and that's something that Duncan Robinson can't do. And Buddy's already proven that he can do that.
And so, like, what do you even say at this point as a Sacramento Kings fan? It's like, in Sacramento, here we are. We don't have the necessarily best players available, but you ask a guy like, could you imagine if we had a guy like Joe Harris or Duncan Robinson and we're out here asking them to play make? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Robinson just got a 5-year, $90 million contract for not playmaking. Nothing playmaking absolutely whatsoever. So I think it just kind of puts things in perspective, especially, just being at a disadvantage of a small market team like we are.
100%, man. And right now the Kings lead 51-40. Carson Edwards takes it to the rack. He misses. He's asking for a foul. Davion pushes, and now Ramsey is in transition. Once again, Ramsey and Davion Mitchell have a really good, nice chemistry cooking up right now. Ramsey's running the lanes in transition really well. You can see the chemistry there. Box score says that Ramsey has 10 points, 1 rebound, 5 of 12. Davion Mitchell, 9 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 1 steal. Louis King, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. Robert, 3 points, 6 rebounds. And Nemish, 1.5 rebounds.
Hey, the Kings have definitely made up for what we saw at the beginning of the first quarter. It wasn't the start that we wanted, but, goes to show that Bobby Jackson, his first stint as a summer league coach, is definitely the real deal. I mean, obviously it helps when you have a guy like Davion Mitchell who's able to facilitate the floor. But I mean, obviously, if we keep up this tempo, I think that down the stretch, I would have liked to see better shots. I think a lot of these are a lot of early in the shot clock possessions, and some forced shots. But I think that at the end of the day, we have the league, so it's nothing to complain about.
Right.
I'll run to the bathroom real quick.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So Thomas Herder says Buddy is a great player and will be appreciated wherever he goes. Grant Napier hating on him every game. Started the sack hate for Buddy. Yeah, it's just an unfortunate narrative, I would say, for Buddy. But he knows it. We talked about it last week in Las Vegas, and that's it, man. Like, he's gonna put his head down, keep on working hard, trying to put heart, sweat, and tears, blood, sweat, and tears into his team. And that's it, because Buddy's a pro. He's a true pro. He's a real gym rat. His work ethic is unmatched. And you see it from a guy who isn't necessarily very talented, like that was highly recruited. I mean, this dude came from literally nothing, from a country with 400,000 people, right? Same with that Giannis book right behind me. I've read chapter 1 and the prologue, and he's cut from a different cloth. But he's cut from a different cloth. These guys are built differently. You cannot put a number, or these guys they play with such grace, with such a passion, that it's hard to match it, because their upbringing is what has made them to what they are today, right? Like Giannis was just Giannis wanted to play soccer, okay? So I'll just leave it at that. Definitely a great book. Check it out. It's a biography for Giannis. So far, so good. Let's go back to the summary of the game. The Kings are up 53-40. They lead 9-4 in the third quarter. Kevin says Ramsey looks so good. Ashton says the Kings should sign Iman Shumpert. Thomas says scores are here. Ramsey reminds me of a good young Eric Gordon. I would never go that far. Eric Gordon's just an animal, bro. Like, Eric Gordon without injuries would be borderline all-star type play. He's that good. But unfortunately, he ain't got that work ethic. And my God, Pritchard, airball again. It's a Davion Mitchell effect, yo. Kings lead 53-40. That's the second airball, by the way. Ramsey's not nowhere near Eric. Like, the Ramsey is a G League player. That's what he is. And that's not a bad thing. I think he's close, but he needs to really, really find that jump shot and make it consistent. Jeez Louise. Richard was trying to dunk on somebody's head right there. Pritchard in transition. And Lewis King with us. Lewis King is playing well. Like, Lewis King is a rotational player in the league. See, that's somebody who can play in the G League and put up numbers, but can also make an impact off your bench. He's not a starter, but he's playing so well. Nuno Jesus, what's up? Shout out to Portugal. Go Nemi, go Nemi, go. Grant Ashton says Grant was Buddy's #1 hater. Benjamin says F. Hansi Hernandez says, what does the Lamborghini brings to the what does you're referring to the coach they just got. I don't know much of him, but I saw that he was with the Wizards last year, and the Wizards and the Kings had arguably the #1 and 2 worst defenses in the NBA. So that's not a good thing to me. But yet again, I have to look more into it for sure. Oh my goodness. Robert Woodward, what they hammer jam a llama jam. I love that. He just put it on him. Ooh, 55-40. The Kings lead by 15. 4:40 remaining in this third quarter. Man, the Kings defense is so good right now. It's leading to transition buckets, and Kings are just playing their game, bro. Kings are just playing their game. Thomas says Davion got Payton taking 35-footers because he can't get open anywhere else. Facts, but Emmanuel Terry kind of looks like a Wiz Khalifa Fetty. Fetty Wap. Facts, bro. It's definitely a fusion. It's like a little lab work, right? We gonna combine these two dudes and make Emmanuel Terry, who I love, by the way. Emmanuel Terry got 10 boards. He had 10 boards at the half. Coleman is a bucket. Yeah, he is. Who won, guys? The game is 55-40. The Kings are up by 15 points right now. And my guy is back. The Kings are up 55-40 tie. Again, the Kings defense is really good right now. It's leading to transition buckets. Someone just said that Emmanuel Terry is a combination of Wiz Khalifa and Fetty Wap. Agree or disagree?
Looks wise, yes. Discredit Emmanuel Terry's performance on the court because he reminds me a lot of Rashawn Holmes in terms of energy-esque.
Yeah.
Like he plays 100% every play, and like even the plays where it seems like he's out of it, at least he's still like reaching for a tip on rebounds and things like that. And so I think the fact that we're up 13 points this late in the game without our starting power forward in Matu, who is a huge contributor to this team, regardless of stats. Like I mean, dude, he affects this team so much. And the Emmanuel Terry over there, unfortunately he draws an offensive foul, but that's what you gotta live with a guy that
he threw a Metu blow right there.
Exactly. So I mean,
what are your thoughts on the whole Metu thing? I thought that was a cheap ass foul, and I'm glad he defended himself. Honestly,
Leo, it is a tough league, and I think that especially with the experience he had in terms of having that dunk and basically injuring himself in order to not play the rest of the season, especially how important that is as a guy like Matu in the position that he's in and not necessarily having as many opportunities to see the floor as possible. I agree with you 100%. I mean, this guy literally shoved him in the air, who could have, necessarily landed wrong, messed up an ankle, potentially, injured an ACL, MCL, or in that case, necessarily fell on his hand, broke a wrist that he did initially in the first incident. I think the league has to take a lot more consideration in terms of flagrant foul twos because, dude, how do you expect me to react when the start of my season could potentially be in jeopardy because of somebody else being upset about one specific play? And I know a lot of people on Twitter were talking about, the Kings were throwing off the backboard dunks late in the game. But let's be honest, we have this point differential in the Summer League for a reason. How are you going to be upset with me for trying to run up the score?
Right.
We're just a championship game. So
how about you play some defense and not let them run up the score? How about you man up and actually play some defense and try to stop them from scoring on you? Because that foul, he didn't even contest it as a block. He was flat-footed, pushed him in midair. Like, bro, stop it.
Leo, I don't know if you've seen the Malice in the Palace special on Netflix, but just like that cup being thrown at Ron Artest, if that flagrant 2 doesn't happen, Matu does not elbow this guy in the face, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Facts, 100%, man. Louis King, put this man on the roster already, man. He's on a two-way deal right now. He's playing out of his mind, offensively and defensively. He has the length. Could he be the guy that the Kings are missing in terms of a 3-and-D wing? Oh, my goodness. And he gets the steal. Woo! Louis King has arrived, y'all. Put him on the roster right now. 62-42. The Kings are up by 20. 2:36 remaining. Louis King is here, and he's here to stay, y'all. He is putting on a clinic in Las Vegas.
I mean, when we acquired him in the trade, I wasn't sure if he was going to get a lot of opportunity, especially, being a part of the main roster. But here in the Summer League, I don't know. Hasn't he been the leading scorer for the Sacramento Kings his entire Summer League? So I know that Ramsey had a really good game the last game in terms of like having more than 20 points. But, dude, Louis King has been doing this consistently on a night-by-night basis. It is going to be difficult to be able to get minutes behind the backcourt depth that we have here in Sacramento, but you can't deny, especially on the Summer League roster, Davion Mitchell doesn't perform as well unless he has an offensive prowess like Louis King. So, hey, I'm just super excited to see a guy like him flourish in the opportunity that he has in Sacramento that he didn't get in Detroit.
100% love the mental energy. Keep that energy, baby. Sac should have a chip on their shoulder all season. We need that energy, especially as we become a defensive-minded team. You guys make sure you guys hit the like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. We got a lot of content coming up. If you guys haven't checked out our 2016 versus 2017 5-on-5 4 quarters, 5-minute quarters, definitely check that out. That is my next question for Ty, which we'll get into. But we have a lot of cool videos coming up. Now we got a Jalen Green video coming up this week. We have a Cade Cunningham video coming this week. We have a live podcast with my boy from a great podcast. I'm sleeping on his name right now, but I'm gonna have him on Wednesday. So tomorrow, might have the backyard legend Marcellus very, very soon as well.
Easy.
We've been in contact. It's supposed to be tomorrow at 9. But I rescheduled it. So maybe Thursday or Friday, but it could be actually more of an in-person thing at Medici as well. So I think he wants to do more of the Medici thing. I'll find out and let you guys know. But if you guys haven't checked out our content, man, keep it here on Basketball Zone, Cowbell Kingdom YouTube channel.
Yep. And I just want to take this opportunity to, obviously speak to the fans. I mean, it is not easy being a Sacramento Kings fan in the last decade, but the fact that we continually put out quality content and we're here for you guys.
Facts.
Never end a video without asking, like, what do you guys want to see? Like your comment. Leo always says it himself, whether it's good or bad, we take in all constructive criticism. So whether, you guys felt like we were a little bit harsh on a guy like Buddy Hield versus Marvin Bagley, we want to hear those comments in order to, create the best quality content that we can make. So, I mean, Davion Mitchell with a crazy setback there. Obviously, he didn't finish the play, but I think the bottom line is, here in Sacramento, we have loyal fans, and that is something that I can honestly say that that a lot of other teams don't have. Everybody's gonna hop on the Lakers, the Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls type teams, but the fact that we have created something super special over these last few years, especially in Cowboy Kingdom, and I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity that Leo has given me. I mean, we just want to create something that's, obviously going to get better. And, especially with an acquisition like Davion Mitchell, I think the sky's the limit for Sacramento.
Big facts, man. Really well said. The Kings are minus 12.5 right now. So if y'all didn't get the jump line, which was +6, you now got to hope they win by 13 points.
I mean, Leo, it's starting to look ugly for the Celtics. They're throwing up absolutely anything. I mean, Carson Edwards makes a very, very
long
lucky
3, 63-47. Carson Edwards trying to keep them alive right now. 1:24 remaining in the third quarter. Can the Kings sustain this, or should we take the Celtics at +12.5?
I don't love that shot by Louis King, but hey,
would you take the Celtics right now +12.5 to cover 12.5 points?
Not when you got a guy like Davion Mitchell on the other side.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Davion Mitchell has been playing absolutely out of his mind this entire summer league. So, who are going to be the guys to save this Boston Celtics team? Either Peyton Pritchard or Carson Edwards. And I think that, Bobby Jackson is going to make the necessary adjustments in terms of that, whether it is Davion Mitchell guarding them or not. But, I mean, look at it now. We have an about 20-point lead. And so I don't think I'm really that worried about going into the fourth quarter and seeing what we can really see out of this Sacramento Kings roster.
I agree with that. Right now, the Kings are playing really, really well, man. Davion going to the bench, getting a nice little breather. Carson Edwards with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 of 14 from the field. He's a bucket, but these guards are struggling because the Kings are playing magnificent defense, led by Davion, but Louis King and Ramsey are playing really well as well on the perimeter, and Emmanuel Terry is staying on. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like his footwork is really good.
Thing. Look at him move.
Oh, they call that a kick?
No way. Are you
kidding?
Hey, man, this starting to remind me of 2002, Leo.
What? Here we go.
Hi, man.
Here we go. 2002 all over again. How about a psych because the Kings are about to get this steal right now? Let's go.
Oh, baby. Let's just shut them down.
Oh. Oh, what did I say? Steal. Uh-oh, steal.
Yep.
Here we go. And Ransby, how many layups does this kid have? Wow.
Looking like light work for him.
Oh, another steal by the Kings. They're in transition. Ransby. Wow, 3-point shot. Yak. The Kings lead 68 to 47. 68 to 47. This game is looking pretty ugly for the Boston Celtics right now. Can Pritchard stop the bleeding? Can he stop it? Oh, here we go. And he stops the bleeding right now. 49-68. 20 seconds remaining. Will the Kings score one more bucket? Can they do it? I believe the answer is yes. I think they will score right now.
Yeah, for anybody watching this right now, I mean, the turnover ratio is with the graphic that the ESPN has shown. I think it's 20-3 right now, right? Don't the Celtics have 20 turnovers to 3 to Sacramento? That's a huge turnover difference.
So turnovers, see all 24 turnovers, bro.
That's absolutely
to 6. That is insane.
And yeah, it's clearly not just Boston's fault. I mean, you have to credit the Sacramento Kings for being able to stop them defensively.
The Kings at the buzzer. The Kings at the buzzer. They lead 70. Wow. I am shocked right now, to be honest with you.
Right now,
36 points. 36 points off turnovers, bro.
14 steals. Are you kidding me? That's absolute domination on the defensive end.
And the Kings have 18 offensive rebounds to 3 from the Celtics.
Man, I can't even imagine how many Emmanuel Terry has in himself because he just have.
Pritchard looks like Eddie from Ed and Eddie. The spread is 16.5 now. Would you take 16.5 Celtics?
16.5, getting 16.5 points.
It's a lot of points.
I might take that because I know the Kings gonna win. It's just a matter of the spread at this point. You know
yeah,
I mean?
will the Kings let up in the loud garbage buckets, right?
I think it really comes down to, like, I hate to say it, but is Bobby Jackson gonna sub out Davion Mitchell? How early is he gonna sub out Davion Mitchell?
Facts. That is a great point. I mean, the Kings are up by 21 points though, so
if he's early, I could see us definitely winning by around a margin of like 10. But if he subs them out later, then yeah, I don't see why we can't hold on to a 20-point lead. I don't know. If I had to say a concrete answer, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna take the Kings, given that 16.5, just because
to win by 17.
Yeah, I think Bobby Jackson in his first coaching stint wants to win. I don't think he's gonna jeopardize it. So why not win by more than that 16.5 margin?
Yeah, I mean,
starts creeping. Why not put Davion Mitchell back in and just, see what's rolling?
So here we go. Summary: the Kings lead 70 to 49. Lewis King with 21 points. Emmanuel Terry with 11 rebounds. Davion Mitchell with 7 assists. Let's check out the box score real fast. Mitchell has 9 points, 7 assists. And how many steals? How many steals he got? He only got 1 steal, but I feel like he has more just because he's made such a huge impact on that end.
Another steal.
Did he steal it? The Kings are just rolling. They might win this game by 50.
I hope so. Man. I'm not. I want us to win by 50 if possible. I look. You want to deal where they might start flagrant fouling us again because, man, we're gonna whoop some ass.
Facts. Wow. 9:41 remaining. Kings lead 90. Or sorry, I'm already projecting what it's going to be.
90, Leo. Come on now. By the way that we're playing.
70 to 49. The Kings are pressuring up the court. Pritchard doesn't know what to do with the ball. He swings it to Carson Edwards, and Carson Edwards with the first step. He blows by, gets the foul called on Emmanuel Terry. He's going to the free throw line for 2 shots. That was quick. There's not much you can do about that because you have to stay home on him. and that pump fake got you to, get you off your 3-point stance. And yeah, he blows by you because he's pretty quick.
Hey, Carson Edwards has definitely been a proven player since the college level. I mean, obviously, we would have liked to see him excel more outside of the summer league type role. But hey, he definitely still has that first step that we've seen. Especially since his Purdue days.
Facts.
I think in terms of the analysis for the Sacramento Kings, I would obviously, from a fan's perspective, like to see Davion Mitchell in sooner than later. But let's see what type of run Boston's able to make. Let's see if I think do they still have Lewis King out there? Hopefully we can get some offensive production out there, and so hopefully we don't let up too much.
Yeah, I mean the Kings are playing well, and the Celtics have no defense. They're just attacking the rim. They have no shot blocker right now. They lead 72-51. Pritchard is in no man's land. He's just doing the dribble handoff, and yeah, he's not even looking for a shot because he's just so upset with himself. He's just out of this game, bro. And wow, the Kings are just attacking the rim at will, bro. That is nuts. 74-51.
By the way that the Celtics are playing, even you on your bum ankle can still score on these fools, man.
Yep. I think I might. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And my shit.
What offense are they even running at this point? I mean, okay, they got a little layup there, but it doesn't even look like they're running sets. They're just like, okay, get the ball and go find themselves a bucket.
Yeah, it just seems like the Celtics are super discouraged. Nice give and go pass. Oh my gosh, the Kings are just rolling. Coleman is a beast, and the Kings are about to win this championship. The Kings are about to be a 2-time Summer League champion, and we're here to tell the story, y'all. We're here to tell the story, y'all.
And last time we won, obviously it was super exciting, but we had guys like Ray McCallum on the floor that I obviously definitely was really passionate about. But this ain't no fluke this time. I personally feel like
yeah,
Dave.
Like the Kings have a stud on here. Metsu's also a stud, but he's not playing this game. Pritchard for 3 to no avail. He is shook. I mean, this kid is shook right now.
Leo, could you have imagined if we had Mitsu in this game? We would have won by 50. Jesus Christ.
Probably. Like, Mitsu would have destroyed these guys. He would have been dunking on these dudes like Emmanuel. Man. Oh, it's just too easy for the Kings right now, bro. They're just getting to the rim at will. The shot blocker just hurt his ankle. He's grimacing the way I was grimacing. Not a good feeling, man. My shit's swollen as hell right now. It's just unfortunate, bro. Like you like get to this age, I'm not in tip top shape like I used to be, and it's unfortunate because it literally happens when I don't wear my damn ankle braces, right? Like I'm not at that level of ankle mobility to not wear them. And I thought it was gonna be like a casual 3-on-3. I got 15 minutes, I said, because I gotta do a live at 2 p.m. It was like it's about 1:07. I'm like, I got 15 minutes before I leave, gives me half an hour to get home, set up, whatever. Man, It was game point. I had 3 threes. Dude got super physical with me. He roughed me up a little bit as I'm clearing the ball with nobody around me. And this is shameful to even say this. I just take a bad step, bro, by myself.
Nah.
Crazy, huh?
Hey, we know how it gets during game
by myself, bro. Like, and I was gonna win the game on literally after I cleared it, and I literally took a bad step, and everybody was like, "Oh, bad step," and I was just like jumping, like, "Ah, fuck!" I said, and I felt it right away. I was like, "Damn, my shit is swelling up, bro." That's just old, man. That is not being in shape, not wearing your braces, and just. Oh man, it just makes me sad. Right night, I'm like suffering. I can't sleep. I'm rolling. I mean, it hurts and it's swollen.
Hey, Leo, we all know how it gets during game point. People start hacking, fouling, things like that.
Get handsy and stuff. Like, damn, bro. Like,
obviously you didn't see that type of scenario in your circumstance, but hey, especially when you're as locked in, trying to see, anticipate what the defense is gonna do. I mean, obviously, you're prone to mistakes, and hey,
yeah, like for a second, I kind of because they tipped it out to me right before I cleared it, and I saw like where the guy was, And as I was turning around, I just took the next step and just bam! Like I was like, oh! And then just yeah. And then the rest is it. Now I'm here hoping that I'm back by Friday, but I highly doubt it. It's just fat and ugly right now. So at least I can walk because my last one was like I tore ligaments and my whole foot was swollen. So now I can actually walk and still do some chores, but it's and I just bought those damn 36s too, man. I was hyped to wear them on Friday too, man.
Oh man. Hey Leo, if it makes you feel any better, at least the Kings gonna secure this summer league championship.
That's a fact. That'll make me feel better.
Definitely ankle feel better. I'd say that much.
Just gotta take some little pillies, like some little Tylenol or something.
I want to be surprised if Davion Mitchell doesn't play this entire fourth quarter.
Dude, he might not.
Man.
He might not. Holy smokes! The Kings lead 80-56, bro.
And I don't want anybody to discredit the Sacramento Kings for beating this Boston Celtics team by that much. The team's 4-0. The Boston Celtics are 4-0 for a reason. Peyton Pritchard, before he faced a guy like Davion Mitchell, and the schemes by Bobby was absolutely excelling. So it's not a coincidence that here in this championship game that they're losing by 20 points. That's all I'm gonna say.
And it's just crazy because of how they started the game, right?
We saw what was 7-2, 15-2, 10-2 or something like that.
It was nuts.
Man.
It was nuts. Shout out to Devin, man. He says, I hope you feel better, making me feel old. I'm like, man, bro. Just stretch. Don't be like me. Act like it's casual. Act like you too good, and then you just, take a bad step. Like, I gotta be better about that. I just gotta wear, it's a hassle taking your shoe off, putting up the damn brace, and you're just like, damn, man, like. But I'm not that guy no more, man. Whoa. He takes a step back three and he misses a shot. This is a riot, ladies and gentlemen. 81-56. Davion might not even play this game no more.
No, and he shouldn't. I mean, the Boston Celtics are clearly not as much of a tough match as we anticipated. I think that
Coleman is killing them.
My goodness. He's just getting to the basket like it's nothing. For anybody that sees a box score after this game, I don't care how many points Carson Edwards scores this game. Look at his field goal percentage because this guy's been missing like crazy. So
facts.
Yeah.
He just missed another three right now.
He's just throwing up anything. And
Celtics are just throwing stuff up now.
Where is Peyton Pritchard at? This guy that Peyton Pritchard allegedly supposed to be, we just talked about earlier in this call, potentially starting or backup point guard.
6 points.
6 points.
3 of 8.
And look, this is his perfect opportunity to seize the opportunity with no Davion Mitchell. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh my Leo, God.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Don't tell me we're going to beat the Celtics by 30, man. Don't tell me.
They might.
My goodness.
The spread is 21.5.
21.5. That's absolutely insane.
Do you take 21.5?
Dude. These Celtics aren't even playing defense right now, Leo. And offensively, what are they even shooting? No pick and roll, no off-ball movement. They're literally just ISOing Carson Edwards to get a shot up. Like, it is looking ugly for the Celtics right now.
It is looking ugly for the Celtics right now. Oh, my gosh.
You know how bad you have to be performing in order for me to hesitate about taking a 21.5?
They may cover that. Like the Kings may cover that.
The Kings might cover a 21.5 spread. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. That's nuts. Please go do Zumba again.
I know.
I need to do some Zumba, man. Start getting that ankle mobility coming in. Just start going to the club and just dancing. Yeah, man. What a crazy turn of events for the Kings. Like, I thought the game was gonna be close.
I thought so too.
But the Kings have surprised the entire world, and they're just absolutely killing it. Please like, share, and subscribe, y'all, so we can keep on doing it. This was fun, man.
100%. I agree with you, Leo. And so I think unlike other Sacramento fans that may potentially get overly optimistic over a Summer League championship, what is your main takeaway aside from Davion Mitchell being, obviously
Lewis King. I think Lewis King has earned his spot. If they don't make any moves in terms of like trading Buddy or Bagley for a wing, they have like a 3-4 right now with HB, but other than that, man, it's not looking too hot, and Lewis King fits right in there. So and again, he's already on a 2-way deal. If they can somehow trade Tristan Thompson, like it makes sense, man. Like, who's your MVP though, Lewis King or Davion?
Oh man, that's tough because obviously if we're looking at somebody as a whole, you got to take a guy like Davion Mitchell. But in terms of this game, Lewis King has definitely elevated his offensive prowess and been the scorer that he is. I would rather to see Davion Mitchell receive the MVP. However, I would not be surprised if Lewis King, for what he's done in this championship game, performed as what he did, receiving the MVP.
Facts. 100% there. Emmanuel Terry taking it to the rack. Okay.
Man.
Who's number 17? He's nice with it.
The fact that we have a guy.
Oh my gosh.
We don't even know who he is, and he's getting buckets on these Celtics. I'm telling you, Leo.
I don't know who that guy is.
You could get out there and get a cool 5-6
Wait,
points.
is he the kid from Sac State?
Is he?
He might be.
I don't know his name.
Let me see. His name is... No, that's that's Murky, I think.
Mm.
No, the kid from Sac State is Stewart, right?
I thought Stewart was from Duke. DJ Stewart.
Let me see then. Who just hit that? Let's see, Murky. It's his name is Aid Murky.
Right now they have the graphic on the screen. Peyton Pritchard's first 3 games was averaging 20.3 points on 58% shooting to the 3-point range. Knight has 6 points, 0 for 6 from the 3-point field goal range. I'm not going to let anybody talk about how he had an off night. It's not that when he faces off night in Davion Mitchell that he's not playing well. So I just want to make that very clear that the Sacramento Kings absolutely dominated the Boston Celtics in the game that mattered most in the Summer League Championship. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, Romeo didn't play today, but Mitchell didn't play for us, so it don't even matter.
Hey, cancels out, man.
Cancels out. Fernando got demolished today by the Kings bigs. Yeah, Davion's not going back to the game, bro. Alex Antetokounmpo was in the game. What?
Oh, snap.
Here we go.
I want to see some highlights now.
Okay. Oh, shake and bake to the rack, and damn, they can't even stop like a 5th-string point guard.
That Boston Celtics defense is horrendous.
The spread is 27.5 now.
Oh my! See, hey Leo, we were right. Good thing we didn't take that 21.5.
Facts.
Still couldn't even cover that. Jesus Christ.
27.5 points right now, man. Do you take the Celtics now?
You know what? Hey, I'll give the Celtics the benefit of the doubt. I think at this point the Kings ain't playing nobody for real. If y'all want to make a little chump change, I guess y'all can take the Celtics at this point.
Ooh. I honestly, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Kings cover this too.
Hey, you're not lying, Leo. We whooping that.
Oh, hey, I'm never conflicted on 27.5 because you always take 27.5, but I don't know.
Man, dude, it is looking so bad for the Celtics. Literally, we're just walking into the paint for them. It's,
I've never seen this.
What is the coach telling them in the timeouts and the TV timeouts? Like, dude, it's ridiculous that they're playing this bad. I just want to take this opportunity to tell Kings fans, I mean, we potentially could have drafted Aaron Nesmith, and clearly Aaron Nesmith isn't what we thought he was. And if you think that Aaron Nesmith could have replaced a guy like Buddy Hield, dude, having a guy that has a trigger like Buddy Hield, we talked about this earlier.
Or HB. They were like, oh, trade HB for Nesmith. I'm like, what?
No. Aaron Nesmith is clearly not the player that we thought he was going to be.
Well, not yet. I mean, like, he might still need like 2 more years, right? Where, again, like, guys don't come out ready like Davion Mitchell.
They don't. And, just to reiterate the same point, I don't care what his age is. If you have an NBA-rated player that can contribute to the team, regardless of fit in terms of whether he's a guard or not, you got to take the best player available. And
exactly.
Davion Mitchell winning the Summer League championship here for the Sacramento Kings is no surprise to us. I mean, he's built.
Man, they just swatted. Alex is so bad at basketball.
Oh my gosh, there goes that steal. That Sacramento Kings defense, baby.
Like, he is so bad at basketball.
He's just like his intangibles in terms of like his length, right? His measurables are just.
Yeah, that's it. Like he has the body, but he's just not good.
Yeah.
Damn, the Kings are hitting 30-footers now, bro.
Oh my god.
They're up by 30. They're up by 30.
Our best player didn't even play the entire fourth quarter.
Holy smokes.
Our best player did not play the entire fourth quarter, and we're currently up 30 points.
King or Mitchell? Who's the MVP? I think I'm going to say Mitchell just because he didn't play the fourth quarter, and it just shows how impactful he was in the first 3. Like, but yet again, so was Lewis. Like, Lewis is a animal on both ends of the floor.
From a fan's perspective, I want Davion Mitchell to win. I mean, I think that would definitely create some good momentum going into the season. But just like I said earlier, man. Has Lewis King played much of the fourth quarter? How many minutes has he played in the fourth quarter?
I'm not sure.
Because it can't be. I mean, obviously Davion Mitchell had 0 minutes in the fourth quarter, but I'd assume that it's not that much more than 0 minutes, considering how much of a lead we have. Because if we're just basing it off the first 3 quarters, I mean, you got to take Davion Mitchell. I mean, he does stuff that's not even on the necessarily box score. You know what I mean? In terms of the facility he does.
So I posted the Jack. Jack says, "Where was Romeo tonight? He could have helped." I agree. I think it would have been closer, but just seeing the outcome and how the Kings played, they probably would have lost by like 17 as opposed to like 30. But yeah, man, it's just the Kings came to play today. They had the perfect game plan, which was just let Davion go. I mean, it's that simple, right? Like, Davion was just clamping their best player tonight, and it had a ripple effect, man. And that's just how it is sometimes.
Davion Mitchell is a lead by example player. I mean, I think several of whatever fans or anybody that has the experience of playing organized basketball, we've seen people that try to be vocal, try to overcompensate and things like that. But when you have a guy that puts in the work day in and day out, and literally shows you why he's that number 9 pick, I mean, you can't knock a guy like that. And I think that that energy and the type of presence that he brings to the Sacramento Kings is contagious. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I don't know if a guy like James Bouknight or Moses Moody elevates the Sacramento Kings team enough to win a Summer League championship, because just like I mentioned earlier, this team is made up of second-rounders and undrafted free agents. So the fact that we are winning a Summer League championship behind a guy like Davion Mitchell is absolutely crazy.
So we got 2 people with 6 points. Because you know how I put that post earlier? How many points is Davion going to hold him to? I got 2 people with 6 points. Let me see if I got 3. And yeah, so we got 2 winners. It's just 1 winner, but I'm going to give out 2 winners today. And I'm going to name them Brad Scooter. Brad Scooter is winner number 1 because he posted that way before. Let me see. I'm going to pin his. You win. You win. Pizza. DM me now. I'm gonna pin him. But then there was somebody else as well with 6, and he posted a little bit later. And that was snapshotpro.com. Isaac C is his name. You also win.
Leo, these Celtics are not about to cover 27.5, man.
What's the score?
It's 98-66. No, we're up by 32, man.
Oh, damn. We should have took the Kings.
We sunned them Celtics today, man.
Oh my gosh. What a...
It's the first free throw. Are you kidding me?
I'm glad someone says 6 points, man, because these dude held him to 6 points.
Hey, Leo, when you post tonight's graphic of the final score, put in the caption, we should have took the Kings at 27.5.
Love it, bro. Love it. Oh my gosh.
I don't even recognize anyone on the floor for the Kings, man.
Besides Alex, who is only known because
Alex out, I think. Alex not even in the game anymore.
Oh my gosh. Wow. The Kings are up. They might cover 30 points, bro. They're up by 31 right now. Right?
Yep.
Dude, that is... If you took the Celtics at 27.5, you're probably livid right now, right? Like, you have to be.
Yep. How are they... Dude, they can't even perform against our 4-stringers. Are you kidding me? These guys, I don't even know if they'll ever play another down of basketball after this, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, wow. They're up by 33 points right now. 24 seconds. Can they cover 30 points? Can they cover 30 points? Oh, for three. And he doesn't. 33 points. The Kings win. Final score 100-67. And your Sacramento Kings improve to 5-0. And they are the 2021 Summer League champions. 2-time Summer League champions. And Davion Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen, as I said today, was it yesterday? At age 14, won the AAU championship. At age 16, won the state high school championship. At age 18, won the SEC championship with Auburn. At age 22, he won the college basketball championship, right? NCAA championship with Baylor. And now at age 22 still, right? He has now won the Summer League championship. Should we bet by the time it's 24 that the Kings win an NBA championship?
Hey, I don't know what the odds are right now for the Kings. 1,001 right now, but hey.
Oh my gosh.
I have to put a little $20 on the Kings for the NBA championship with Davion Mitchell leading the way, man.
That is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable performance by the Sacramento Kings. 100-67. What a great moment for the city. They get, even though it's just Summer League, they get somewhat of a little bit of joy, right? Where it's been a tough 2020 with this pandemic, fans not being able to watch basketball in person, and now they get to celebrate just a little bit. I'm sure there's a lot of Kings fans in Las Vegas right now celebrating, acting like a fool, which they should because they're in Vegas and they just won the 2021 Las Vegas Summer League. So congratulations to the Sacramento Kings. Bring home the nice title. We'll have a fake parade on K Street, and yeah, Bass, happy birthday to our boy Bass, Javi's dad. Javi's father is in the chat. Yeah, man. Congrats. Happy birthday. It's a great birthday present because we may never get a championship, but we got a Summer League championship, 2 of them, as a matter of fact. But this one means a little bit more because, as you said, Ty, they have a true hooper on this team, right? A guy that's going to make an impact day one.
And we played against real competition. I mean, we played against teams that had, also lottery picks. So, I mean, you can't discredit for the Sacramento Kings, and especially a first-time Summer League coach in Bobby Jackson. I mean, this was a very impressive outing. And so I know a lot of people are going to try to discredit Sacramento for, being that team that we
Hey,
are.
those shirts are real nice, bro.
Hey, Leo, I might need to cop one of those.
Facts.
Little Summer League champions victory in Vegas. I like those.
Let's go ask the knockoff people to make one for a lot cheaper though.
Yeah, I know, for real, huh?
Oh man, that's a real nice shirt.
With a Nike check on the bottom too.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah, those knockoff places, bro. They make them identical. You know why? Because it's in the same damn factory. That's why.
Same factory, man.
The only difference is that one gets shipped to Nike and it's certified, and the other one isn't.
Yep.
Like, it's crazy, bro. And Bobby Jackson getting his love right now, being interviewed. There's a lot of Kings fans, I'm assuming, man. And great feeling, bro, because Bobby's worked very, very hard for this moment. Davion Mitchell right behind him. Looks like he's like an inch taller. Not very sure, but, man, who cares? Louis King. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Luke Walton and the GM for the Stockton Kings. You got what's his name? Alvin Gentry out there too.
Hey, Leo, I don't know, man. Luke Walton might need to take off that shirt. I don't know if he can contribute to it.
Ty said, "Take that off."
I don't know about that, man.
Oh man, take that off. He said. Okay, I think they just named Louis King MVP.
Oh man,
they did.
I mean, 21 points, 5 steals. I mean, you really can't be mad at it.
He deserved it, bro. Let's be honest.
I mean, Iguodala won a Finals MVP
over Curry. Yeah. I mean, wow. Louis King just solidified his roster spot, bro.
Yep, he's definitely gonna make the roster.
Yeah, it's just a matter of making some moves to make that happen. And if they sign him onto the roster, they'll have an extra two-way deal. Wow. What a hell of a summer league he had, man. He's older, right? Like he's older, but still, like, you're not playing against scrubs. Like, you're playing against good competition. Definitely better competition than like the AM, pro leagues and stuff like that. I wouldn't say better than Europe, but definitely like a tier under that. Davion Mitchell, 9.7 assists, 3 of 12 from the field. Wow. He definitely jump-started the whole thing, though, defensively, right?
100%. And I think that, just like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to the box score, a lot of people are going to see that 3 for 12 and be like, ooh, I don't know if he had the best game, but, dude, if you actually watch the game and see the film, Davion Mitchell was everywhere for the Sacramento Kings. He was, the facilitator and playmaker that we've seen thus far. And so even when his shot isn't falling, he's still able to contribute. And I don't know if I can say the same for a guy like Louis King, So Davion Mitchell, the fact that he's celebrating with his teammates and winning is the number one priority, that's the type of energy and environment we want to create here in Sacramento. So I'm super excited for the season, the momentum that, we have being the 2021 Summer League champions.
Facts. And Bass says, can Louis King and Emmanuel Terry play small forward? Louis King can. Emmanuel Terry's a center, so he's not playing small forward ever in his life. But, yeah, man, the Kings just getting a huge ovation by the fans. Sacramento. Sacramento.
Yep.
There's a lot of Kings fans in there. Laker fans travel the best, I would say, but definitely Kings fans are right there. Namias. It's the Namias effect. He comes from Utah State, comes from Portugal, and he says, I'm going to win a championship for the Kings in year number 1.
Yes, sir. 167, the final score. MGM Resorts Summer League final. Man, it's a beautiful thing to see.
It's a beautiful thing to see, y'all. Let's see if anybody else is if again, guys, if you guys haven't hit the like, share, and subscribe, please do so right now. It helps us out a lot, man. It helps out with the algorithm. Bass says they would be small center skinny. Well, definitely. Just like Rashawn, like Rashawn not the tallest guy, but again, he's a center. Don't want to disrespect him. Can he play some power forward? Sure, probably not. I wouldn't want that, but I could see him in bigger lineups. I don't think he shoots enough, or he don't shoot well enough to be that type of stretch four. It's not even the power forward to me. It's like you a stretch four or not. You know what I mean? Like that's what the NBA has come to now.
In today's league, 6'9" is the average height for a center. Are you kidding me? Like LeBron and KD and all these guys are power forwards.
KD was playing center with like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like Team USA. Like it's just again, you put your best players out there. Period.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
Last year, like, dude, think about it. The Rockets literally just traded away Clint Capella just so that they can have PJ Tucker at center. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. 4 or 5 years from now, that would never have been a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what we playing today, man. First quarter was 24-20. It was competitive. We're like, okay, this could be competitive down the stretch. Second quarter, 2016. So they were up by 8 at the half. We were like, the Kings are playing super well, but Boston has a run coming in them. Psych. The third quarter happened, bro. 26-13, and then the fourth quarter, 30-18. The Celtics did not cover 27 points in the half. That is just ridiculous to me.
I'm telling you, Leo, caption that IG picture, that final score. Should have took the Kings at 27.5 because we whooped that ass.
That is just crazy, bro. So I guess the last question before I let you go was what team wins, and then when you go individual matchups again, 4 quarters, 5-minute quarters, 2016 class. So you got Jamal Murray, Jaylen Brown backcourt, Davion Mitchell against De'Aaron Fox. Out of those two, who wins the matchup at the point guard position?
So are we doing 2016, 2017 class?
Yeah.
And then at 2017, we got De'Aaron Fox and who?
And Donovan Mitchell.
Hey.
And over here, you got Jamal Murray and Jaylen Brown.
I don't want to discredit the Sacramento Kings organization, but I feel like if you put De'Aaron Fox in an organization like the Denver Nuggets or Utah Jazz that have been primed to win and, definitely put their stars around talent, I wouldn't be surprised to see that De'Aaron Fox is in the same conversation as the Jamal Murrays and things like Jamal Murrays and Jaylen Browns and things like that. The fact that De'Aaron Fox is able to elevate his game this much in a small market team like Sacramento, hey, I'm taking De'Aaron Fox and Donovan Mitchell over Jamal Murray and Jaylen Brown any day.
Not mad at you, bro. I'm not mad at you. Honestly, to me, it's Fox and Mitchell. Now, small forward position, you got Ingram against Tatum. Who are you taking there?
Oof. I'm gonna have to take Jason Tatum. I think that I just had this conversation with a few of my friends earlier. In terms of players 25 and under, excluding Luka Doncic, I think Jason Tatum is the guy to reach the tier of guys like a Kawhi Leonard, a Kevin Durant, and I don't know, LeBron James is obviously a one-on-one player, but in terms of meeting those conversations, I think Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum are really the only guys realistically 25 and under that can make that huge leap in being a player that is going to be remembered in this league.
Okay. So you got 3 for 3, 2017 at the 4 position. It's not close. Ben Simmons versus John Collins. I think Ben destroys him there. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what we've seen this past season, I mean, John Collins. I mean, did he re-sign with Atlanta?
$25 million, bro. So him holding out worked out, but other guys holding out did not.
Hey, that boy Schroeder probably shouldn't take that advice, but hey, you know what? Obviously, John Collins was very solid for the Atlanta Hawks this playoffs, but Ben Simmons is a multiple-time All-Star, a multiple-time All-NBA player, and you can't discredit that regardless of what he did in this past.
Yeah, and on top of that, we can argue that who should start, which is Gallinari or Collins. Like, I understand it. Like, who's going to finish games? Because to me, Capella's a clear number 5, and he's going to start. So there were a lot of questions of like, okay, who's going to start, right? Like, and it's a good problem to have. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes Gal looked like he was a better player.
Yep. And he can do more offensively
Right.
other than catch lobs and rebounds. He can create his own shot, play make a little bit, and just his
100%.
eyes and he's a little bit he's a heavier guy. So when he sees guys in the post and having that offensive versatility, that's something that John Collins doesn't really have the opportunity to create his own shot. So
Yep. And then the last one was this one's tough. Like if people want to sleep on this and act like it's just like a landslide, they're
yeah.
lying. It's Sabonis against Bam Adebayo.
Mm. So defensively, I'm obviously going to take Adebayo
For
over
sure.
Sabonis. But offensively, you're going to take Sabonis over
Facts.
Adebayo.
And then people don't want to admit that, but he's a better offensive player.
And so the thing is, I think this is what's going to be my biggest edge here. Bam Adebayo is not the best player in the Miami Heat, and I'm not going to fault that against them. Just like I was earlier debating with one of my friends whether a guy like Bradley Beal or Klay Thompson is better. How am I going to discredit Klay Thompson for playing alongside the best shooter instead? Can't really discredit for a guy like that because what is he going to do? Demand a trade? So I think that with that being said and the experience that I've seen, I mean, I don't think that Bam Adebayo this past season took a huge step backwards from what he was able to do in the NBA Finals the year prior. But let's be honest, Sabonis is the best player on the Indiana Pacers, and if he is not contributing on a day in and day out basis, that Pacers team is a bottom 5 team in the East. And so I think that I'm gonna have to take Domantas Sabonis just for the kind of the consistency that we've seen out of him. Do I think that Bam Adebayo can finish his career way better than Domantas Sabonis? For sure, 100%. But I think as of right now and the experience that Domantas Sabonis has, especially in the postseason, unfortunately, it's tough for me to say, but I think I gotta take Sabonis just because he is the best player on the Indiana Pacers and Bam is not. But I don't fault that against them, Bam, necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So are you saying 2017 wins? And again, everything's considered. There's 5-minute quarters, referees, and there's 4 quarters.
All I'm saying is when you got a guy like De'Aaron Fox that's lightning speed coming at you, and he's able to pass it out to guys like Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum. Ooh, don't get me started on that, man. Don't get me started because they gonna show you. You know what I mean? When De'Aaron Fox ain't stuck in Sacramento for now and playing under a coach like Luke Walton, you gonna see what he can do.
Okay, so 2017 wins that one.
Hey, 2017 might cover that 27.5 spread.
Oh, that is Lance Woods going crazy, popping champagne on Instagram. Okay.
I see you, Lance Woods. Hey, one of the true Sacramento Kings fans.
Oh man, what a day! Wow. Well, if y'all don't like that, man, you don't like Kings basketball. That's going to do it, y'all. Thank you guys for all the support, for everybody that was here with us the entire time, man. Again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to Ty. We got to have Ty on more often. We got to get more of those sexy voice narrations, bro, because, like,
I've been caught up. We're going to get on that. We're going to get on that for sure.
All right, big dog. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who was here, man. Thank you guys so much on behalf of the entire CK family. Well, thank you, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.